It's Zanzi. I'm the globe's original consulting philosopher of 5 things: bioelectromagnetism, consciousness made clear; life-centric thinking, my proprietary IP; quantum physiology, also my proprietary IP; and trance dance, that's belonged to indigenous humans throughout our 200,000 year history. This is going out to the one and only Malcolm Gladwell. Whew, I know I'm always late. I'm library booking it. Revenge of the Tipping Point. Well executed. Can we do a podcast called Reblink? Very sincerely love all the books. Blink, my favorite. Talking to Strangers. You really touched me with digging into the Sandra Bland heinous situation. I'm in a Sandra Bland way. Even though I think I've been filming here on my YouTube channel, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk, The Pursuit of Happiness 2, this place, Poplar Grove, is about to Sandra Bland me. I want to get the data out into the zeitgeist about how really seriously, I mean, you know the last paragraph you wrote, we can engineer an epidemic of evolutionary logic plus love intertwined. That's what life-centric thinking is all about. Bioelectromagnetism, it's the science below the iceberg surface. Bioelectromagnetism, I'm the philosopher who's seen the very next scientific revolution. Quantum physiology takes how bioelectromagnetism informs our theory of consciousness and ports it into body, mind, and soul integrated human functioning. That's quantum physiology. E equals mc squared. We start there. We invent some new math, a la Kurt Gödel, Einstein's best pal there at the Princeton Advanced Institute. Either way, I'm a Carnegie Mellon degreed philosopher. Self-consciousness was simply a BA. I'm worth talking to. You know, New Yorker profile-wise, I'd already went out to Michael Pollan, Robert Sapolsky. You'll see the consciousness, free will angle that I'm speaking to you about. I have sorted the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot. Hence, this is my autistic AF audition for hashtag solvable, wherein I can talk to you about my proprietary, and the reason I keep saying proprietary is because I own all this IP. And whether you're consulting and thinking it's impactful philosophy or intellectual property, it's both the same, quite frankly. And in this crowdsourced time, I just want to stand on a stage and do hashtag Socratic improv. We'll do a Socratic dialogue here on the podcast scene. And I'm pitching for my own podcast. I'm going to call it, with all props to Gregory Burns, Iconoclastista. And for you, Malcolm, I want to talk about Zenzing the Zeitgeist. That's right, I'm Zenzi. And what I have to offer is nothing less than Zenzing the Zeitgeist. Zenzing, that's take the 2 S's of sensing and making embodied cognition of our senses. That's Zenzing. Now, one of the things, and I should have been prepared for this, you're going to hear a little crinkling, but I always make sure when I'm saying something that I can look this man in his loving, laughter-filled eyes And I know somebody who works with him is a previous book agent, a writer, just a really great person who she worked with. Malcolm Gladwell does everything. To Zenzing the Zeitgeist, how we do it, and the questions that, that you say you really do believe that we can influence the overstory. I'm pretty sure we can, especially when you've got life-centric thinking, which is the antidote to the money matters most masculinity of stuff-centric thinking. I just boiled down 10,000 years, for revisionist history. I'll come in and talk about the dawn of everything. Davids, archaeologists, anthropologists, the dawn of everything. We don't have to live in this kind of world. We didn't. How it came to pass, you got the germs, guns, steel people. I think it's the faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigms of the Western whiteness thought tradition. That's why I can see myself as in a Sandra Bland situation, even though my melanin density and the melanin density of the entire community around me would suggest that nobody would be Let me put it this way. My neighbor here, Ben Jealous, former head of the youngest ever head of the NAACP, and current head of the Sierra Club, in his work with civil rights, he discovered that sometimes you gotta find the token white person to really illustrate societal abuse. I wish it wasn't that way, but I'm much happier that this is happening to me than to a black human. This is the truth. I really don't occasionally lose my train of thought. But that time I did because I feel I'm really verklempt. I think the world needs some sitting down and some talking to, a la Dave Chappelle. And I've been doing the hashtag Chappelle Challenge on my YouTube channel for 5.5 years. I've got this stuff, but I'm suffering from severe malnutrition and sleep deprivation. Tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary of becoming homeless in the U.S. of hypocrisy. I have a Carnegie Mellon degree and 2 decades of very lucratively successful software consulting. I had payroll software implementation, not only across the whole country, but the world. Singapore, Western Europe. Ooh, if they'd ever sent me to Africa, I would not have come back. Anyway. That's AAVE truism. Once you go black, you don't go back. And that's actually right in the free stuff in the Dawn of the Dead. There is some quote, quite a long quote, from Benjamin Franklin saying exactly the same thing. Once you go indigenous, you don't come back. Civilization, the revisionist history, we've got civilization wrong. Who the savages are? That's the genocidaires. Pardon my French. That's exactly it. Now, how the genocidaires, guns, germ, steel, yeah, sure. Those were the methods. But the methodology, the thinking, this you're not going to see coming. Indigenous consciousness is far stronger than civilized consciousness. Indigenous consciousness is not only embodied cognition, but it is also integrated, interconnected with all living beings. You know, my payroll name, debhelfrich.squarespace.com, has been replaced as Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I no longer want anything to do with plantation capitalism's rosters of who I am. My chosen soul name is Zenzile Londolozi. These are Zulu words that convey I am responsible for who I've become, the protector of all living beings. Malcolm, don't pass up this opportunity. Help me get out to the zeitgeist, Zenzing the Zeitgeist, so that we can save our species from self-extincting in less than 30 years. The science can be philosophically argued. How we're going to do this is life-centric thinking. We got to create a global hive mind, species-level thinking over story. That's why if you'll scroll my YouTube channel, we got pitches to Will Smith, Lenny Kravitz, everyone, Jerry Seinfeld, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all the people. What I want to do is be the Ms. Winfrey of intellectual interviewing. Socratic dialogues, it's been called for about 2,500 years. You know, Socrates was illiterate. Again, revisionist history. Sorry, I'm all in the revolutions and evolutions. This is a Socratic improv. Getting on a stage and just letting my mind work, what I'm doing is showing you stream of subconscious. I had a toxic mold exposure. The reason for my homelessness is a health situation that Western medicine don't know how to deal with. That no, guys, there's not a charity that will help me. There is no. This is not a functional civilization. And I can give you a whole bunch of data and a whole bunch of ways to fix it. Zenzing the Zeitgeist. That's a podcast episode. Or a standalone webinar. But first we got to talk and build some trust. Talking to strangers. Holler at me, Malcolm Gladwell.